What's going on, everyone? This is Julian with Heritage Dumpster Solutions. This is our first podcast, and we're going to call this Heritage in Motion. And basically, what we want to do here is just talk about the ups, the downs, the wins, the falls, the costly mistakes, everything about business, everything about being an entrepreneur, what goes on in this mind of mine, things that we have coming up, things that we want to do, our goals, and so forth. So, if you want to hear about that kind of stuff, then go ahead and subscribe, and we'll talk about it. Also, go ahead and leave, topics that you would like to or like for me to discuss. This is all very new to me, but I want to put it out there. It's not all about the glam life. There's a lot of ups and downs in this business. It's very costly, very time consuming, and I just want to put it out there and be honest and give you some raw information about all that stuff. But nonetheless, this is our first podcast. I don't really know what I'm doing, but you guys are going to be along for the ride with me, so we'll figure it out together. We're going to call this first one the intro. I just want to do a quick intro on who I am, who we are as a business, how we got started, where we're going, what our goals are, and so forth. So we'll go from there. So like I said, my name's Julian. I am with Heritage Dumpster Solutions. We are a family-owned business based out of Riverside, California. This business was started by my wife and I. We started it back in January of 21 during COVID, which I think a lot of businesses were started during COVID, but that's kind of when we started. And we started this as a side hustle. We both had jobs. My wife is in the medical field and I was a government employee, and we were just simply trying to, for her, further her education. And for me, it was, I wanted an F-250, but I didn't necessarily want to make a payment. So I wanted a business to make the payment for me, which is pretty dumb, right? But that's how we started. So we started with a Texas Pride dump trailer. And obviously, just like everyone else, that was a big expense. I think we ended up spending about $10,000 on that trailer, and not knowing much about the business, obviously doing a lot of research, we thought we could make it work, and we were going to figure it out. That one dump trailer led to 2 within a span of 3 weeks, to 3 within a span of about 2 months, and then to 4 in a span of about 3 to 4 months. So we were growing rather quickly, but there was a need out there, and we were kind of filling those voids where we can capitalize. After getting 4 of those, I kind of got tired of fixing flat tires on a bunch of trailers. Then I started thinking about registration. That's 4 trailers I got to register. Then I started thinking about theft. I'm like, somebody can just come hook up and then take it. So I was trying to figure out what we were going to do next. And at this point, my wife and I sat down and we kind of figured out that maybe the MaxD ROX system was a good step forward. Now, on the West Coast, that system wasn't really out here. Nobody was really running those trailers. So it was a huge gamble. And I actually talked to my buddy Abel at this time. I was talking to him a lot about it, and I was like, man, I think I'm going to do it. And oh, by the way, if you guys don't follow Abel, go follow him. He has a lot of really good information, a lot of good content. He is from Temecula Valley Junk. And so talked to him a lot, and it was a big gamble just because nobody had that system out here. So if I was to break down or the winch went down, I was kind of on my own. Nobody else was going to be able to pick up that container. So went back and forth, and ultimately I was like, you know what, let's do it. Let's make the purchase and we'll figure it out from there. So I contacted Derek from Candid Trailers up in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. We made a deal, and I drove to Oklahoma, picked that thing up, drove it right back down, and it was a nonstop trip. Literally, I think it was like 22 hours. Stayed the night, picked it up, and then drove straight back. Once again, I was a government employee at this time, so I didn't really have a whole lot of free time. I could have taken time off, but I just never really did that. Once we got it back, we started working that unit, and we quickly realized we were going to need a second one in order to keep up with the demand, in order to be timely and just be more efficient. So a few months after getting that first one, I contacted Candid Trailers again, Derek, and I ended up buying a second Max D ROX system. And once again, drove back down there, picked up another 3 or 4 containers, can't remember, and drove straight back down and started putting those to work. And yeah, life was good. Life was good until that first unit ended up snapping. The frame on both sides snapped, and I was out of a trailer for about 6 months until Max D could provide a replacement for it. Now, that trailer was still under manufacturer warranty, and it did take them a while to provide a new one at no cost, but I was out of a trailer. So during this time, I was trying to figure out which way we were going to go. And once again, my wife and I kind of went back to the drawing board, and we figured that maybe getting a medium-sized duty truck would be beneficial for us. So I started looking around, and I ended up booking an appointment with a company out of Opelika, Florida. And they had a 2018 International 4300, which is traditionally a box truck outfitted with the Galbraith system. Now, Galbraith system is typically seen on the East Coast, Midwest, but the truck looked good, so I flew down there, test drove it, and we ended up buying this truck. It was about $92,000 with taxes and shipping down here to California. It was just over $100,000. I thought it was a good deal. I didn't know anything about it, to be honest. Going through everything, that truck's at that point should have been no more than $70,000. But this was a lesson that I had to learn on my own. And once again, it was one of those costly lessons that I couldn't have learned anywhere else. And the thing about this industry is people are willing to help you when there's a benefit for them. We were providing a lot of work to different haulers at this point, and they were taking the work. They were gladly taking the work because we were providing a lot of work for them. They were making a lot of money on it, but the information coming back, the guidance wasn't there. And so a lot of these mistakes that I made are just through trial and error. So like I said, we bought this truck, we got it back, we started running it, and within a month the cylinders went out. I didn't realize that the whole system was a used system, 15 years old, and which they slapped onto this truck, put some paint on it. The cylinders were shot. Once again, this is all during COVID, so being an East Coast system in the West Coast, we couldn't find those cylinders, so I had to get those milled, and it ended up costing $10,000 right off the bat. So we're now into the non-CDL world, but with the bigger trucks, so higher insurance, basically more expenses on everything: fuel, labor, insurance, maintenance, everything. And then this goes out. At this point, we didn't have $10,000 for the cylinders, so I wasn't prepared for it. Obviously, we wanted to get to this step, but we just weren't prepared, and we weren't in the right, I guess, right place business wise to deal with all these expenses. But we made it work. We ended up taking some money from our personal savings and paying for that in order to keep the truck running. We figured, keep the truck running and we'll eventually pay ourselves back, which ended up working out. Now, right after that, we had hydraulic lines go out. We had all different sorts of stuff go out, and it was just things that we weren't prepared for. Just things that we weren't prepared for. But at this point, we started buying a lot of dumpsters. in order to grow, I needed to at least buy more dumpsters than we had before. And I only had, I think, 8 or 9 Max D trailers, containers, whatever you want to call it. So right off the bat, I started buying 15, 20 yarders, 30 yarders, 40 yarders. And within that initial second year, we ended up spending about $500,000 on just containers. So definitely spent a lot of money on containers, but we knew that in order to grow, it's a numbers game. How many containers can you have out there? How many trucks can you have out there? And we were willing to reinvest everything that we were making back and not take a profit. And to be honest, we didn't need to take profit from it because at this point we still had our W-2 jobs in the medical field and government. So literally everything was just going back to whether expenses or equipment. Shortly after getting that first truck, though, my wife and I kind of started talking about the need of a second truck. If one truck goes down, what do? That kind of halts your whole business. So when the time came, we bought a second truck, and we didn't have a whole lot of downtime. If we would have had more free time at this point, we would have just bought a tractor trailer, got it chopped, stretched, and outfitted. But time frame for that was at that point 7 to 9 weeks. We just couldn't afford 7 to 9 weeks. So we ended up going to a truck dealer down here in Norco, California, and they had a 2016 Freightliner Cascadia with a DD13 motor already built, and they were asking for like $120,000. So we ended up buying that. So my logic was, for every truck that we buy, let's buy 25 dumpsters, let's buy 20 dumpsters. And we thought that was a good ratio. We kind of broke down, we did a little bit of a study, and we figured that for us, with traffic, landfills, and everything in between, one truck can manage 20 to 25 dumpsters per week per truck. And so 2 trucks in, and we were kind of in that 40 dumpster range. About 8 months after that, we ended up buying our third truck. And since we had 2 trucks running, I was like, you know what, we can save a little bit of money. And I ended up going to Penske Truck Sales, and we bought a tractor and got that stretched out, which ended up taking about that 9 weeks. But see, after that, we waited about another 8 months, and then we bought our 2024 Peterbilt 548. We bought that brand new cabin chassis and then sent it off to get built here in was it Fontana, something like that. And let's see. So at this point, we're 4 trucks in. I would say somewhere in the 80 dumpster range. And I have an opportunity to buy out a company. One of my friends was in the business for, I think, 2 years and was just calling it quits. So I ended up buying out his company. So all containers, his truck, his Google domain, his phone number, and everything else. And we ended up finalizing that deal earlier this year, here in January 2025. So now that brings us to where we're at right now. We're 5 trucks in. We have about 130 dumpsters. That's including 3 yarders. And we're not satisfied. I don't think we'll ever be satisfied. As human beings, we continue to strive. We can continue to set new goals, new boundaries. And for that reason, I just don't think we'll ever be satisfied. Now, obviously, there's going to be shift in the business plan, but the goal is to continue to excel forward and continue to get more clients, more contracts, and so forth. Now, where are we right now? So we have, like I said, 5 trucks. We have 2 skid steers. We have a doubles trailer. We have an equipment trailer. We have a Diamond Seed dump trailer. We have a Ram 2500, a Ram 3500 dually, and then we just ended up buying another truck for marketing purposes. And I think we're getting one more vehicle here soon, maybe like a Ford tiny little compact car for our office staff, as we are hiring another person here in the office. But that's kind of where we're at right now. We do have a lot of things that are kind of changing, and it's all for the growth of the business. There's a lot of money being put out there, but we have a vision, and we're going after it pretty hard. Let's see. I'll tell you a little bit about how our office layout is. So we obviously have our driver team. We have our dispatcher. We have a virtual assistant. And then we have Jose, that kind of is the operations manager and the man behind all of it. So the drivers report to him, the dispatcher reports to him, and then we all have weekly meetings and we kind of discuss everything and see where we need to go that week, what our problem areas are, and then we kind of discuss all that. So that's kind of the gist of the office. We have external mechanics. Actually, our neighbors are mechanics. They have a fleet of like 6 trucks, so they're constantly here. Then we have 2 other mechanics that are a little bit better if you're like taking engines parts and things like that. They're old school mechanics, which I absolutely love. And then we have some external welders. We do a little bit of welding here. And then we have our partners like ENC Manufacturing that builds all our dumpsters. We have yeah, I mean, they're building all the dumpsters, and then obviously we have all the other pieces that we plug in when needed. But there's a lot of moving parts to this business, and it takes a true village to keep this machine running smoothly. We're in the logistics industry, and at the end of the day, so trucks are going to break down, and it really does take a village to just keep everything maintained properly and on the road. If the trucks are down, like we have 2 trucks that are down right now. One's at Rush Truck Center. The other one is getting a new transmission put in. But we're losing money at the end of the day. And other than that, we've kind of hit our 5-year goals extremely early. Our goal for our 5th year, which would be January 2026, was to have 5 trucks and 100 dumpsters. So we're already there. So now it's just a matter of setting new goals, new standards, and just going after it really. Just going after it hard, I guess you can call it. But let's see. That's kind of the meat and potatoes of who we are, where we're at. And we obviously have some big goals here for the next couple of years. So I'll share those goals with you guys at a later time. But yeah, obviously create some massive goals. I'm a firm believer that if your goals aren't scary, they're not big enough. So set some massive goals that are scary. Go after it. Have a vision. Be relentless with your business, and yeah, just get after it. But other than that, guys, we're gonna conclude that as our first episode. So I hope you guys like what you are hearing, and leave a comment. Tell me what you guys want to know about this industry. We're definitely not experts by any means. This is just me telling our story, the ups and downs and everything in between. We've gone through a lot. We've learned a lot. And that's kind of just what I want to put out there. I don't consider myself an expert, a guru in the dumpster space. I'm not an influencer. I am none of that stuff. This is just simply Julian with Heritage telling you guys about what we do, who we are, how we push numbers out consistently. And I'm not going to tell you guys that you guys are going to become rich off of this. I'm not going to tell you guys that you're making $10,000 a month. I don't know. That's all, up to you guys. We all have different paths, different struggles, different opportunities. So, just capitalize on that and go from there. But Heritage in Motion, this is it. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys do like it, go ahead and share that or hit that, what do you call it? Subscribe button. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right. Thanks, guys.